I would like to tell you something about the place, Church of the Nativity. The story began when the Holy Family came from Nazareth to register in census in a time of Augustus Caesar. She was pregnant Virgin Mary and she gave birth in stable. By the way, stable, cave, grotto, the same. Constantine and his mother Helen, the first kings of Byzantine Empire who believed in Jesus. 300 years after Christ, they came here and built the church over that cave. But unfortunately, that church destroyed by people called them Samaritans.
Oh, I want to ask, why is there so much security in Hebron than in Bethlehem?
Washington, did you have to show your ID at the checkpoint?
No.
Okay.
Why? If I want to marry a Samaritan,
You have to convert.
yeah.
Are Samaritans like living modern in the society?
Yes, they are. If you go over there, and you could see the ladies. Oh my God!
Where is it? Where is Samaria?
In
Do they
Nablus.
wear
Nablus.
clothes? How do they dress?
Even the Jews have been during the Babylonians. What have remained
The
of
Jews
those
wiped
Israelites?
out? I don't think the Jews were wiped out because when the Babylonians, captured them, they spread
Well,
to Africa, to other, the
Philistines.
Philistines. They are not the same people as the Palestinians.
Hello dear followers and subscribers. In this video we are heading to Bethlehem from Hebron. In our previous video in Hebron, we saw the different divisions of H1 and H2 and as well got to visit the burial site of the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, Sarah and Rebecca. And now we're joining up to the small but historic city of Bethlehem. So where are we going to first? The food before Bethlehem?
Yes. It is in Bethlehem.
Oh, it is in
It is in
Bethlehem, all right. The engine hums softly as the car pulls away from the ancient streets of Hebron, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on earth. It is still a bright morning in the southern hills of the West Bank. The sunlight spills across the limestone buildings. You know what I like to eat when I get to Bethlehem? KFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, but they have KFC
They
other
do.
places.
They do.
Yeah, they have KFC in Bethlehem.
But now they are some of the people it doesn't.
They have
don't-
it in Tel Aviv.
KFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
I've never been to KFC.
I've never been to KFC.
What?
McDonald's.
Like that.
Huh?
McDonald's.
I have been to McDonald's at least 10 times.
At least 7.
Yeah.
Wow, that
You know, those are part
sounds
of
very
the
low.
BDS now.
Digits.
They are boycotting the Kentucky Fried Chicken and the McDonald's.
Because they have locations in Israel?
No, they
Because
do.
they support
They
Israel.
provide and support Israel. Part of the budget goes to the military.
I went to a kosher McDonald's yesterday, and that was interesting.
How much you paid for it?
Really? It was very expensive.
70 shekels?
I only got like an ice cream.
Ah,
I forgot that or I guess I didn't know, but for kosher they separate the dairy and the meat.
Yeah.
So they had a separate room to dispense the ice cream, which I thought was very funny. They had to take it to a side room and they had to serve the McFlurry separate.
I sit in the passenger seat while my tour guide steers us north toward Bethlehem. The road curves through rolling hills and the landscape feels both peaceful and heavy with thousands of years of history. For a moment, I just watched.
Washington, did you have to show your ID at the checkpoint?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Because I remembered someone showing their ID.
Mine.
So it's you.
Yeah.
Right. And they have read that I have been interrogated.
Yeah.
That's why I told you. But because of my age and there is nothing, just only being in what they consider it as military zone, closed military zone. I don't have an idea about it.
Yeah.
So that's part of. So he
So
gave me
they
the
let
right
you
to
through.
pass,
Yeah.
plus such as. But they told us not to go to the other side.
And what was supposed to be the other side?
It's the settlement, the small settlements
Okay,
to walk
alright,
through.
okay.
This is what I usually use to go in, to walk around and come through the mud. That's my tool in Hebron.
But because it's close to Ramadan, it's safe.
It is the new regulations. Each time when they have holidays, you have something, they change the rules.
Meant we had more time for shopping.
You can do shopping in Bethlehem.
Does the settlement feel similar to like a neighborhood in Jerusalem, or does it feel
No, in
different?
Jerusalem because it's completely Israel.
Yeah.
I'll try to drive through a settlement today the big Efrata Settlement. I'm going to drive through it to see if they will allow us to drive through it.
So this is still Hebron.
We're still in Hebron.
Settlements, they have like a lot of paramilitary presence, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not really military, but they form their own like community watch group where they walk around.
They
with
do have,
weapons.
each settlement, it has its own private security company.
Oh, so it's not the settlers; they pay a private security.
It's a private security company. Sometimes the settlers join them. I mean, if they want to work. But now, when you started to have legal settlement, okay, so the government will give you a budget for the local council of the settlement. Now, when you have several of those settlements in one area, they form what they call regional council of the settlements. And the regional council of the settlement will get a big budget from the government because the regional council is responsible to provide all the services for the settlements in its area, its region. So the roads, transportation, security, water, electricity, etc. It comes through the regional council of the settlements. Now, the regional councils of the settlements, which they are mostly the third group of settlers, they can support and provide the illegal settlements with the budgets which comes from the government. This is how we call it indirect way to serve the outposts. If you are a Jew,
Was that the Palestinian Authority or at the checkpoint?
It's completely Israeli.
Meaning, if the Israelis ask, I should say I'm Christian.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the Palestinians won't ask you.
Okay.
The Palestinians, they don't care about your religion.
And
but for them, Muslims are allowed to go to the mosque. Christians are allowed, but not the Jews. The difference on the other side, Christians are able to go to visit the synagogue, the Jews, but not the Muslims. This is how they, function.
Yeah. I think I visited the synagogue probably
10 years ago.
Maybe 15 or 20.
Stone terraces climb the hillsides like steps built by time itself. Olive trees twist out of the rocky soil, their silver-green leaves shimmering in the sunlight. These trees have probably stood here longer than most nations on earth. My guide glances over with a smile. On a day like this, he says, "You see why people have fought for this land for thousands of years?" And honestly, he is right. The view is breathtaking. Leaving Hebron behind, as we drive further away, the dense trees slowly fade into open countryside.
This one, there is a traffic light which will delay us.
Hebron itself carries a powerful atmosphere. It is a place where ancient stone markets, religious sites, and modern tensions all exist side by side. Behind us somewhere in the old city stands the legendary Cave of the Patriarchs, a site sacred to Jews, Muslims, and Christians alike. According to tradition, it's the burial place of biblical figures like Abraham and Sarah. My guide had pointed it out earlier. Many people come to Hebron only for that, he said, but the city is much bigger than the stories people hear on the news. And driving away now, I can see what it means. Because outside the city, the land opens up into quiet hills and scattered villages. The hills of the West Bank's road climbs gently through the rugged landscape of the Judean mountains. Sunlight floods everything. The hills here aren't dramatic like alpine peaks. Instead, they roll endlessly, soft but rugged, shaped by centuries of farming and stone terraces. My guide gestures out the window. Those terraces, he says, some of them are hundreds of years old. Farmers built them stone by stone to create flat ground for crops in the rocky hills. Even today, you can see vineyards, olive groves, and patches of green scattered across the slopes. It is quiet, not silent, but peaceful.
You remember I spoke about the Egyptians came and took over? Then the Ottomans took back and they have a new law just to sell land property to Christians, to countries to build the consulates and also to the missionaries to build their colonies. Okay? That's how it started. We're talking about 1850, 1860. 1869, one of the main things happened in the region, it's Canal. The shortcut way, water passage to far east of the British Empire. So it was important for the British to take over the Suez Canal and also Egypt in 1882. So Egypt was under the protection of the British, and the Suez Canal was part of the British and the French shareholders. In 1897, the first Zionist conference was held in Basel, in Switzerland, and during that conference, they urged Theodor Herzl to have a delegation to meet the Sultan and to propose to the Sultan that they could invest, the Jewish wealthy families in the Ottoman Empire, and also to cover part of the debts of the empire, but they needed, instead of it, part of Palestine. The Sultan rejected the offer, the proposal, and sent them away. So they were split. This is how it happened.
As we continue toward Bethlehem, my guide begins telling stories about the region, and suddenly the drive becomes more than just scenery. Every hill, every town, every road seems to carry a story. People often think this land is only about conflict, he says, but most of the time it's just normal life. He points toward a small cluster of houses in the distance. Families live there. Kids go to school. Farmers work the land. Simple things. Yet the weight of history here is impossible to ignore, because these same hills have witnessed empires rise and fall. Romans, Byzantines, Ottomans, British, and many others long before them.
They appointed the High Commissioner in Palestine, his name is Herbert Samuel, to be the High Commissioner, which he allowed the Jewish people of the world to come to Palestine.
Was he Jewish?
Yes, Zionist even.
Yeah, Samuel.
Herbert Samuel.
And at this point, would the people living in that region be considered British citizens?
No,
No?
Palestinian under the British mandate.
So
They have Palestinian passports.
they had Palestine
Palestinian, it was Palestine with the English, Arabic, and Hebrew languages. Okay?
Even though I guess I heard that the Romans gave the region.
The Roman gave the name, but they were
just
living.
what I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
Why
the
do you
Romans-
think the Roman gave them that name?
Because the Palestinians, Palestine, the Philistine, the ones who came from the islands,
Okay.
and those were helping. The Romans in somehow, and that's where they related them, the country.
But it's argued that the Philistines
Philistines.
are not the same people as the Palestinians.
They are we are the original people because we have been here since the history of the region. We are Canaanites, have been converted to Judaism, then to Christianity, then to Islam. This is how it happened. Now, let me just draw your attention for something. During the Crusaders era, the ones who have been in the country, they were mostly Muslims. Some of them left or died, or they stayed under the Crusaders, regime, and there was few of them. But the country was mostly Christian. Christianity was. So that's when Saladin had liberated the country. He came from, they joined the army, the Muslim army, from all around the region, from Iraq, from Egypt, from Syria, from Jordan, from all over. So they came so most of the families of Palestinian families nowadays, they came abroad. They are related to the Egyptians or to the Kurdish, because Saladin himself was a Kurdish person.
So when we talk about Palestinians, can they trace their ethnic roots?
Now, let me tell you that my family had been registered with the Ottoman registration in 1598.
So there's
Okay.
And do you know where your family came from before that? Like, were you Kurdish? Were you?
Really, we don't know.
Yeah.
We know that we were here 500 years almost.
Wow.
But you're not the Philistines.
Philistines,
Because the Philistines were wiped out. Like,
they spoke about wiping out. Even the Jews have been wiped during the Babylonians. What have remained
The
of
Jews
those
wiped
Israelites?
out? I don't think the Jews were wiped out because when the Babylonians, captured them, they spread to
Okay.
Africa, to other,
Okay. They haven't been in the country.
yeah.
All right.
That is
Only what have been left, according to the Samaritans narrative, that the Samaritans have been living in the country even with all the conquerors who came to the country.
So they're the ones that can trace their lineage.
I don't know if they are true or not, but according to them, they're still holding the oldest ancient Torah, which it has over 7,000 difference between the Samaritans Torah and the Jewish Torah.
Yeah, Jews don't consider Samaritans Jewish.
Okay, even though they only believe with the 5 books of Moses, they don't believe with the Talmuds and the other things.
You mean the Samaritans?
The Samaritans that we're talking about. And they believe, as I told you, that the crucifixion happened with Isaac. It happened in Mount Gerizim, and that's where they built the first temple when they came into the country. That's
Are Samaritans like living modern in the society?
yes. They are. If you go over there, and you could see the ladies. Oh my God!
Where is it? Where is Samaria?
In
Do
Nablus.
they wear
Nablus.
pants? How do they dress?
I'm telling you, the ladies.
They dress like you, right?
Not
Do
like
they
no,
go
even more.
Yeah.
With
short
mini
skirt?
jets.
Oh,
You know, the mini jet.
Yeah.
My God, I was there once in the holidays. Backless mini jets, high heels, and woo.
I really don't know anything about Samaritans.
And I mean, for them, they are the ones who are having the power at home because they are, because they were less ladies and more men.
Oh.
So they have to marry from out. So they have over 28 Christians have converted Samaritan. And they have about 10 Israelis or 17 Israelis. And 3 Muslims. They came from Azerbaijan or other countries of Central Asia.
And is Nablus also like a controlled area?
It is Area A,
Okay.
closed by the military. There are some, access towards it. And this is a beautiful city. This is one of my favorite tours in the country, Nablus.
And Nablus, the Israelis called
Shechem. It was called Shechem during the Canaanite.
Okay.
So they took the name and they transferred it to be Shechem when the Israelites took the city after destroying and burning Jericho.
Yeah,
And that's where they built the first. And that's where they built the first kingdom.
Okay.
The first kingdom was built over there, and that's why the Samaritans believe that the first temple had been built over there in Mount Gerizim. Look about over there. That's where the new outpost and the military they want to go over
You
there.
can see the bulldozer.
Yeah, they're working, adding more of those thrillers and caravans.
Do you know how many synagogues or temples the Samaritans have?
I mean, the community itself, it's the smallest sect in all over the world. Their numbers now, it's 840 people.
Wow.
That's it. Now imagine the beginning of the 20th century, they were only 146 people left. According to their narrative, they said that we were 3 millions.
Wow.
But because of the wars that we were involved in, since the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Persians, and so, our numbers started to drop down till it came to be, as I told you, 146 people only.
Wow.
Could you imagine? Since the British mandate came to the country, they helped them by giving them the chance to work in their military compounds. So some of the Samaritans have left to work in these compounds in Tel Aviv area, in Holon. So the community have been splitted. Half of them, they were living in Holon. Even after 48, they stayed in Holon. And half of them still living in Nablus. They were living in the old city of Nablus. Now they gave them to build, in the second Intifada, the Israeli army told them to go up to the mountain, to Mount Gerizim, the hilltop over there, and to build their community over there. So it is a new neighborhood for the Samaritans in Mount Gerizim, on the top of Mount Gerizim. That's where the ancient, that's where the ancient ruins, which shows you the history of the site over there. So it has the Jewish history over there. They have the Romans, the Byzantines, the Muslims, the Crusaders, and then the Muslims nowadays. Up till
In Nablus.
it is national park. Israeli National Park over there.
If I want to marry a Samaritan,
You have to convert.
Yeah. I thought they need numbers. No, they need population. I can help them populate.
I don't know if they will give you, because men could have.
Driving through it all feels almost surreal, like moving through a living museum. The road winds down through small Palestinian towns, where everyday life unfolds quietly under the warm sun.
So, to go back to our history, so in the 20th and the beginning of the 30s, the population of the Jewish community in Palestine started to rise up. They came to be 28%. In the 40s, they came to be over 40% of the population. That's why they decided to have the partition plan in Palestine, to give land to have the Jewish state, which is they have 55% of the historical Palestine, a corridor on the seaside, and access to the water resources in the northeast, which is Sea of Galilee and the Jordan River. And the largest part of the Jewish state should be the Negev, the desert. But in their ideologies, I mean, for those socialist leadership, they want to bloom the desert. And that's why the first project they have done it in the country is to connect the Jordan River, to take a water canal from the Jordan River to the desert. And they called it the Israeli National Water Carrier. And this was one of the main conditions for the war of 1967. Because the main water comes from the Golan Heights, the three branches of the Jordan River, which form the Jordan River, they flew out from the Golan Heights. So the Syrians were trying to build dams over the water resources, and that's why Israel said, I will strike and I will take over.
Yeah.
And that's where Egypt stood beside it, and that's escalated till we had the war of 1967. So we are in Efrata Settlement. This is a medical center here, which is such a small hospital in the, and also there's, in the settlement.
Is that the only hospital they have?
It's not a hospital, it's just
The only medical center.
This is the main medical one, and there's another one beside that one.
It's very nice. There's a lot of money that went into it.
Now you could see the gardens here, where the kids could play. Look at the garden. Each neighborhood, it has a garden for the kids.
My guide slows the car as we pass through one village, and for a moment I feel like I'm witnessing a side of this region that most people never see. Not the headlines, just life. The further north we drive, the closer we get to one of the most famous towns in the world, Bethlehem. Even hearing the name carries weight. For millions of Christians, it is known as the birthplace of Jesus Christ. But our guide reminds us that Bethlehem's story is much bigger than that. The city is ancient, he explains. Long before modern borders and politics, Bethlehem was already a small town in the hills of Judea. Its name means house of bread, a reflection of the fertile lands that once surrounded it. And over thousands of years, pilgrims from all over the world have traveled here. Kings have traveled here, priests have traveled here, travelers have also traveled here. Of course, that's why they are travelers. Believers have traveled here, all drawn to this place. As we approach Bethlehem, the road begins to climb again as we near the outskirts of the city. More buildings appear along the hillsides. The landscape becomes more urban, yet the stone architecture still blends naturally with the terrain.
So we are now in Area C, okay? Which is the road that Palestinians and Israelis could use it.
Okay.
Because settlers could use this road to go to the settlements. There is a settlement over there. It's called Gilo.
Okay.
And Palestinians are using it to go to the cities. So from Area C to B and to A.
Oh, I want to ask, why is there so much security in Hebron than in Bethlehem?
Because Bethlehem, it's a Palestinian area.
Okay.
Hebron, it is cut, divided. We have part of it which is run by the Israelis army, which is H2, and H1, which is run by the Palestinians. And not to have that type of, connections and types of clashes.
So Bethlehem is solely by
Completely
Palestinian
Palestinian.
Authority.
You don't have Israeli settlers inside the city.
Okay.
All right.
Our guide points ahead. Bethlehem is just over that hill. And suddenly, I feel a strange mix of anticipation and curiosity, because this isn't just another city. It is a place that has existed in human imagination for centuries. And this was my fourth time in Bethlehem, although not with a private guide like Mohammed. Songs, prayers, and traditions all trace back to the small town in the hills, and now we're almost there. As we enter Bethlehem, the streets become busier, shops line the road, but despite the activity, the city still feels calm under the warm afternoon sun. Our guide drives carefully through the traffic. Most people come here for one place, he says, and I already know which place he means.
Palestine was much more civilized country than other Arab countries of the Middle East and even other countries of the world.
Is Palestine still as progressive, or is it less progressive now?
Well, I tell you, in the 70s, 80s, it was much more progressive. They were more socialists. In the first Intifada, that's where it caused us to go back to religion, to find solutions, because we could not find solutions by the internationals or the or international laws. So we started to, most of the people started to go back to God as a way to find solutions, you know, to get out of the situation that we are living in. And whenever it goes back bad, people will go more towards God, and it will be more extremists.
And is it helping?
It doesn't help, but this, I mean, people would just have a hope of God.
Yeah.
You see?
It's the same thing in Africa. When we have suffering, people go to God, and that's how they
And
get scammed.
I'm talking about it because I remember how the country used to be in the 60s.
Even without God.
Could you imagine? I remember in the 60s and 70s, I mean, you couldn't find about 10 people praying in the mosques,
Wow.
in the churches, in the synagogues. I remember in the 60s, 70s, 80s, miniature everywhere, no scarves. It was rare to see somebody, women with the scarf, only if they are wearing the typical Palestinian dresses, which is the embroidery. They have we call it the mandil, but not otherwise. But since the first Intifada, things people started to go back, and this is where people started to go to be more conservative to the religion. You see where the trees are? That's my school. That's where I graduated with the Mennonites. 1972, we have the graduation party under the trees.
Up here or
Yes,
this one?
yes, here,
This one?
Yes, that's my school. The graduation party was down here, just under the trees, and that's where we had.
But the school is no more.
No, it's school, but it's not Mennonites now. It's called the Hope School.
Okay.
It's called the Hope School, but it's run by the Arab Christian community. Committee. It's not the Mennonites. You see the building where the army is now having it?
Yeah.
This used to be a hotel. It was called Panorama. That's where Arabs from Gulf country used to come to spend summer vacation, because here you have an overlook over Jerusalem from here. If you go up on a hilltop, it's called the Everest, by the way. The mountain here, the top of the mountain, it's called the Everest. From there you could see Jerusalem. And when I'm talking about 1967 before, there were no settlements ahead of us and no high buildings. And so you could see the old city. Now I want you to look to the left while we are driving down. Now we are in Area B.
Okay.
That was Area B, where they used to be joint forces doing the security in that part.
Have we seen any Palestinian security forces yet?
We saw one.
Yeah, we saw in Hebron.
He was an officer, and he waved.
He waved, yeah.
He was on that way. Is that the gate?
Now over there is Gilo settlement on the hill over there. And
Gilo?
Gilo settlement, which comes to be southwest of Jerusalem. Now East Jerusalem, it has a ring of settlements around it.
Okay.
We have northwest settlements called Givat Ze'ev, which up to today it's part of Area C. So now, according to the Palestinian law, that we have originally 11 Christian towns in the West Bank, which according to the Palestinian law, even they are the minority in these towns, but the mayor should be Christian. So Ramallah, as an example, It was built as a Christian town, where now the Christians in Ramallah, they are less than 5% of the population. They are just hundreds or thousands of them. But the mayor is a Christian.
Why was it agreed for the mayor to be a Christian?
Because originally it's a Christian.
Oh, okay.
So we want to keep the Christian, we call it social net of the
no one
mosaics of the Palestinian people.
Where are we now?
We are in Beit Jaala, which is the city which I spoke about, that the people, most of the people, the families immigrated to
Chile.
This town, they are the most famous of the olive oil in the country.
Most famous what?
Olive oil.
Like
It
producer of olive oil?
Now, if you buy original virgin olive oil from any part of the country, let's say now 1 gallon, not gallon, 1
Liter.
liter, let's say it's just cost 50 shekels. From Beit Jaala, the olive oil of Beit Jaala will cost you over 120 to 150 shekels.
Wow. Because of the quality.
The quality. We are so close to the refugee camp. It's called Ida Refugee Camp.
Oh, we're going there first before we go to the church of the whatever.
The Nativity, Church of Nativity.
And at what point are we gonna eat? Because I'm feeling.
Now we're going to go to eat first of all. Then we will visit the camp, the wall. We will be on the side of the wall. You will see the wall over there. And then we will go to the Nativity.
Okay.
And from there we will head out of Bethlehem.
Eventually, we arrived near the historic center of the city. Somewhere nearby stood one of the most important Christian sites in the world, the legendary Church of the Nativity. Built in the 4th century under the rule of Constantine the Great, it is believed to mark the traditional birthplace of Jesus. For centuries, pilgrims have traveled from every corner of the planet to visit it. Kings once rode here on horseback. Now tourists arrive by bus, car, and sometimes even on foot. But the sense of reverence still lingers. As I stepped out of the car, I took one last look back at the road we traveled. From the ancient streets of Hebron, through the quiet hills of the West Bank, to the historic city of Bethlehem. It wasn't a long drive, maybe an hour or less, but somehow it felt like we traveled through thousands of years. Every hill carried echoes of the past. Every town revealed another layer of life in this complex and fascinating region. Standing here now in Bethlehem, I realized something. Travel isn't just about distance. Sometimes the most powerful journeys happen in places where history, culture, and everyday life collide. And the road between Hebron and Bethlehem is exactly that kind of journey. A road through ancient hills, a road through living communities, a road through stories that stretch back thousands of years. And on a warm, sunny day like this, driving through it all with a local guide beside us, it feels like witnessing a small piece of the world's history unfolding in real time. If you enjoyed this journey from Hebron to Bethlehem, please kindly subscribe and join me for more explorations across Israel and the West Bank, because every road here has a story waiting to be told. In case you missed our previous videos in Hebron, feel free to click on the videos you see pop up on your screen. Thank you very much as you join our exploration channel. See you in the next video. Bye for now.
I would like to tell you something about the place, Church of the Nativity. The story began when the Holy Family came from Nazareth to register in census in a time of Augustus Caesar. She was pregnant Virgin Mary and she gave birth in stable. By the way, stable, cave, grotto, the same. Constantine and his mother Helen, the first kings of Byzantine Empire who believed in Jesus. 300 years after Christ, they came here and built the church over that cave. But unfortunately, that church destroyed by people called them Samaritans.